Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Commission, where we discuss God's Word in a biblical roundtable discussion. My name is Pastor Alan McMillan, and to my left is Pastor Ron Vickers, and we are The Commission. Today, brother, we're going to talk about what happens when God says no. We're so used to, always talking about expectation, and the Lord is going to do it for us, and yes, He's going to answer our prayers, and yes, but what happens when our Father says, no, that's not for you right now? No, I'm just, I'll just say nothing at all.
Yeah.
What?
I'm glad you say no, and that's not for you right now. Just like, and as we transition from understanding God, and when we understand our Father, we'll understand that He says no at times, or He says not yet. I think about the scripture. One of the scriptures that are biblical truths that come to mind is when the Lord called Moses out of Egypt, and He told Moses to go back to Egypt, tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And what can be disheartening if we don't understand the Father is when we go do what He tells us to do, and we meet that resistance. Because a lot of times, I'm sure Moses was thinking, he's just going to go tell Pharaoh, God said, let my people go. And Pharaoh's going to say, okay. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is, even with us at times, God says He speaks to us in our quiet times. He speaks to us and He shows us dreams and visions, and He may speak to us through someone else or some type of medium. He speaks to us, and we receive that word, and then we go off with excitement and joy, and I'm going to go tell Pharaoh, God said, let my people go. And I'm sure in his own mind he was thinking Pharaoh was going to do it right then. But isn't it amazing when he went, Pharaoh said, basically, as I paraphrase, I don't know who this God is that I should let y'all go and worship Him. I don't know who He is. So in essence, when we understand that biblical truth, because the Bible says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart. So in essence, when we put that all together, it was God telling them, no, not yet. And so, to me, when we look at that and see that God does tell us no, it conditions us to trust Him. Because whatever God says, the Bible says the promises of God are yea and amen. So if God told Moses that Pharaoh was going to let him go, then it's going to happen. But a lot of the times it's only going to happen when we have been conditioned, the circumstances have been conditioned, and others that are around who God wants to get the glory out of have been conditioned to receive actually what God has said. And so He doesn't, you wouldn't take 2016 Mercedes and give it to your 10-year-old if you have sense and say you can drive it. Even though they want to drive it, even though they have access to it because it's yours and it also belongs to them, because whatever belongs to the Father belongs to us. He says we are heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ in Galatians. He said, but however, the heir, as long as he is a child or immature, has to be treated like a servant. So what he says is, I'm going to tell you no. Until you've matured. And I want to help somebody. Maybe God has spoken some things into your life. He's promised you some things, and you've been waiting for a while. And you've told people that you got excited about God, what God has said to you. And maybe He's saying no, not yet, because you're not conditioned. Your heart is not conditioned. Maybe we're not mature enough to receive, and I'm just using this, the 2016 Mercedes. The Powerball was out there, and a lot of people was expecting God to give them the numbers to the Powerball. And they promised God, if you did this, God, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And it was a whole lot, it had to be a whole lot of people. And let's not get it twisted. It was Christians, people who love God. They played Powerball. And we had all these plans, what we were going to do. But God said, said no. How do you know? Because a lot of the Christians that didn't play, and I know there's a lot of people playing it because it kept rising and rising and rising. But he told a whole lot of folk,
No.
no. And a lot of times we think we're ready to receive.
Yeah.
And we're ready to go forth and do what we're called to do after we receive, when we may not exactly be ready. And so while we're waiting, when he says no, while we're waiting, how are you responding? What are you doing in the waiting process? What do you do after he says no? Yeah. How do you behave? Do you get mad at him? You know, and so Moses had to go to Pharaoh several times.
Yeah.
All these plagues took place. And watch this. Isn't it amazing that when he let them go, they borrowed and they set off on a journey. They was excited till they hit a bump in the road.
Yeah.
They got to the Red Sea and all of a sudden, all of that Egypt that was planted in them rose to the surface. Yeah. And a lot of the times, God tells us no so we can see what's in us. When we hit a hardship, when we hit a hard time, when we hit trials, when we hit tribulations, he allows that to happen. He tells us no so that whatever is truly in us can be risen to the surface. And so not just to be risen to the surface to expose us, but to be risen to the surface so that it may cleanse us from all unrighteousness.
So an area of preparation takes place, and it takes a little maturity to be able to see that preparation come to fruition. It takes a little maturity to be able to go forward, knowing that my Father knows what's best for me, even when I don't know. Old folks used to say, God knows what's best for me, even when I don't know for myself. You know, knowing that. Listen at this. This is in Matthew, the 20th chapter, starting at the 20th verse. I found this very unique story here. It's entitled "A Mother's Request." It says, "Then the mother of Zebedee's sons came to Jesus with her sons, kneeling down, asked a favor of him. What is it that you want?" he asked. She said, "Grant one of these two sons of mine may sit at your right and the other at your left in the kingdom." "You do not know what you are asking," Jesus said to them. "Can you drink the cup that I'm going to drink?" "We can," they answered. We can. Jesus said to them, "You will indeed drink from my cup, but to sit at my right or left is not for me to grant. This place belongs to those whom they have been prepared by my Father." So we can see a mother right here asking for a special request from Jesus, and Jesus saying, "No, it's not for me to give. It's not mine right now to give. It's for whoever the Father has prepared for to sit in these seats." Now you're gonna drink from the cup, because they so quickly answered, "Yeah, we can drink from the cup." They didn't even know what cup he was. Yeah, we can drink from the cup, and oftentimes we're going over in class right now about counting the cost. That is the title text for us to research and study this week, is what Jesus was saying about counting the cost. Have you truly counted the cost of following the cross? Have you truly counted that cost? And most of us would say, yes, Lord, yes, I've counted the cost. But then, as you say, once you start on that journey, that bump comes in the road. All of a sudden, that confidence kind of dwindles, and you're like, I wasn't expecting this. And I say that, I say it with a smile on my face, but at the time that I go through stuff in my office, it's very personal and it's very deep pain to have your office attacked. Something that you do in the will of God, but others can't see it because maybe they're not mature enough, or maybe they're not spirit-filled enough to see what's going on. So their only avenue is to attack the office, in which is trying to help others in their selfish influences. They come in and attack the office, and you sit there and you're like, wow, I didn't put in for this. God, I said I wanted to do your will. God, I said that I wanted to work in the ministry full time. God, I said that I'd go, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. And that's just a human characteristics to obstacles and barriers. And as a child of God, we have to learn how to overcome those obstacles and barriers and come out on the other side shining like pure gold. And one way, as you said, is trust. Trusting the Father, trusting Him without any wavering doubt or fear, but trusting Him that He will deliver us. He brings us to it and He'll bring us through it. But we have to trust Him. We can't trust what the world says because we know the world don't too much care for us. And we know how they felt about Him. So we can't rely on the world to guide us in a situation like that, because many people, when they're going through obstacles, they start going to friends. And, I prayed about it, and many people come to me, Chaplain, I prayed a prayer, but my prayers weren't answered. So, what do you tell a person that comes to you and they, hey, Pastor Ron, man, I've been praying for this, and, and I'm doing it. Some of them even tell you what they're doing. I'm fasting, and I'm paying my tithes, and I'm doing this, and my prayer still ain't answered. And they're serious about that thing. We have to give them the guidance only from the Holy Spirit is trust God. You may not understand. I don't even know what to tell you in this. I'm not going to say that I know all the answers every time someone asks me a question. All I can tell them is just rely on God.
And I want to say this. Just because God tells us no, it doesn't mean we're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Or He's not pleased with us that He tells us no. When we understand the Father, when we understand who we are, when we understand His character, when He tells us no, the scriptures should come to mind, for all things work together.
Yeah.
For the good of them. So for Him telling me no, something must be working for my good.
Exactly.
We must understand this, that when He tells us no, then if He's telling us no, then what He's telling us no about must not be in His will. It must be contradictory to what He has for us. And it's amazing because He says that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither have it entered into the heart of man the things that God has for them that love Him. He also says that He can give us exceedingly abundantly above all we can think or ask, according to the power that is within us. Sometimes we ask amiss. Sometimes we ask for our own glory, not for His glory. And so we have to understand, if God is telling me no in this season, or whatever it is, then it must not be in His will. Watch this. Peter, he was telling Peter, I gotta die. He was telling his disciples, I gotta die. Now watch this, it's amazing. He was telling them, I gotta die. I'm going to die. For this cause came the Son of Man into the world, that He may die, that He may reconcile man back unto the Father, and all of that, for remission of sin. Jesus Himself was going around telling His disciples that. People heard Him say it. He walked it, He lived it. But at a certain time, when we hit those obstacles in those rough roads, Matthew 26, perfect example. Verse 36, I'm going to start with. It says, Then cometh Jesus with them, and I'm reading the King James Version. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then said he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. Now notice, this is the Lord from heaven Himself. We were speaking earlier in a couple of our other discussions about Jesus being divine and human. In this passage of scripture, we begin to see His human side take shape. Watch what it says. Now here it is. He's been telling His disciples He's going to die, but at this point that is coming near, His soul is heavy. You see what I'm saying? He's exceedingly sorrowful. But this is the will of God. So this is what He does. And He went a little farther and fell on His face and prayed, saying, this is what He asked God, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as Thou wilt. And God said, no. No, this cup can't pass from you. That's right. He said no. Jesus, verse 40 says, And He cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and said unto Peter, What? Y'all couldn't pray with me just 1 hour? I just heard no from the Father. Everything I've the Father to do up until this point, he's done.
Yeah.
Lord, not for me. Bring Lazarus forth. He did. Lord, raise up Jairus' daughter. He did. Mm-hmm. There was a woman, issue of blood. Done.
Yeah.
According to their faith, it was done. But here it is now, asking God, let this cup pass. Father said, no, I can't do it. Yeah. Why? Because it was outside of the will.
That's right.
And so we have to understand and know the will of God. So we ask some things that are outside of his will. And that's why he'll tell us no. Not that he doesn't love us. Actually, he loves us even the more. Yeah. Even when Peter said, you're not going to die. Mm-hmm. Jesus told him, no, you go sit down, Satan. Because I got to die.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So even Jesus told Peter, no, you're not going to do that. When Peter cut the man down, no, put your sword up, stop.
Yeah.
Watch what he said. And he cometh unto the disciples and found them asleep and said unto Peter, what, could you not pray with me just 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit is indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And we need to stop, I'm going to put this in real quick, we need to stop using that scripture for moments of sin. Well, the flesh is weak. But anyway, I go back to where I was. He went away again the second time. So now, I know God told him no. Because why is he going back?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? God told you no and you went back? Have you ever asked God for something and you know in your spirit he told you no? You knew it was outside of his will, but you went back. No, God.
Yeah. Please.
Can I get by without forgiving them? Has anybody ever done that? Can I get by? Lord, can I just move on in my life without having to go and ask somebody to forgive, to beg their pardon? He said, no, you got to do it.
You got to do it. Yeah.
You go try to find somebody. Can you believe I got to go? I don't know why I got to go. Anybody ever done that? I've done it. Now, remember, I'm just talking about me. I can't believe I got to go. I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm sorry, I didn't do anything wrong. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, oh my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them, watch this, and went away again. So even that second time, God told him no. Sometimes we just have to accept no as the answer and trust his no to be beneficial for us. Yeah. And when we have that relationship and that understanding of God, then we can move on. Watch this, and I'm trying to get out of this. And he came up and found them asleep again, found that for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same word. So he went back and said, and one recording, I don't know if it's Mark or Luke, says, Lord, he went to butter his father up. Lord, all things are possible unto you. Mm-hmm. My son tried to butter me up not too long ago. Oh, Daddy, you the best.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I fell all over that thing. Oh, baby, and about a day later, God told me, you know why he told you that, right? That report card not looking too good. So he trying to butter you.
Yeah.
Amen. We can't butter God up like that because he already knows our intents.
That's right.
He knows our hearts. Mm-hmm. That's why he doesn't give us things at times, because he knows you just want to consume it for yourself. Yeah. Powerball, you wanted to consume it for yourself. You wasn't going to help the church. You not paying your tithe and offering now. What makes you think if you got $1.5 billion, you were going to give the church how much? 100 and some million? And you can't give them 10 out of your 100? No, you're not giving it. No. He told Jesus, he said, no. Yeah. No, Jesus. For that is not in my will. Mm-hmm. You've been confessing my will. You've been teaching my will. And now it's time to put up. That's right. And so Jesus, watch what he says. Then cometh he to his disciples and said unto them, watch this, sleep on now. Take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Mm-hmm. Rise, let us be gone. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. He accepted, he received and accepted the no. Yeah. Because the no was in line with the Father's will. And from that point on, there was no more contradiction in him. There was no more anxiety. He told one of the brothers, whatever you do, do it quickly. He told Peter, put your sword up. I'm accepting the will of God. I received it. God told me no. There's no other way this thing can be done. Listen, there's no other way. Whatever God is telling you to do, there's no other way to do it. You got to do it. And that's why you're hearing that no. That's why you're hearing that no.
Well, I have a question though for those who may ask this question, and they may ask this question in the form of, is stress satanic? Stress and anxiety, is that satanic? Because oftentimes we put a huge amount of stress on ourselves when, like you say, we know that we're not going to do what's right. Mm-hmm. We know that what we're asking for we can't handle, but we get stressed out because we can't get it.
I think stress is flesh. It's you trusting in your flesh. Okay. Now, can the enemy use that? Yes. Mm-hmm. Because there is no, he tells us, he would not tell us to do something we can't do. He says, watch this, be anxious for nothing. A lot of people think that we get that word anxious and excited confused. Being excited about something is different. Anxious, you worried about something.
Exactly.
You don't know the outcome. I don't know how it's going to end up. That's a fleshly thing. But if we trust God, and it's a training thing. Yeah. It's an instruction thing. It's an understanding God thing. According to God, we should have a reputation. God should have a reputation with us. As we go, maybe at the beginning, we might struggle with some stuff and some things might stress us out. But as we begin to trust Him and we see God come through for us, certain things should not bother us and stress us out like it should. Like it did when we were just starting out. I made this comment. Financial, when we come into financial hits and money stuff, I don't get all tossed up like I used to. Because I've seen Him come through so many times. Yeah. And so finances and there are certain other areas in my life where that stuff don't get me all stressed out. Jobs, worrying about getting fired. That stuff don't stress me out. I'm serious. It does not stress me out as it once did. Because it did at one point. But the reputation that God has with me, the understanding, the knowing of Him coming through when I did put my trust, when I did put my faith totally in Him and watch Him come through. I've had the last 5 jobs I've had, the jobs found me.
Instead of you going to
Instead of me. I'm serious. I think the last 5 jobs, I want to be honest, the last 5 jobs, before I filled out an application, they asked me, do you want a job? This last job I got, they hired me and hadn't even filled out the application. They were putting through paperwork and they realized, you didn't fill out an application, we need you to fill out. And so, when you have a rapport, when you have a relationship with God like that, then you understand. So I don't necessarily think it's from Satan, but I sure think Satan uses it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like this flesh. This flesh is not from Satan. It's from the ground. Yeah. But he uses this flesh. The works of the flesh are these: riotousness and drunkenness and adultery. That's the works of the flesh is that, but that's not of Satan. Satan just uses it as a tool. Understand what I'm saying? And so when he tells us no, and we have a relationship with Him, and He has a reputation with us, then we get Him to settle in. You should be able to settle in. It's like taking off on a plane. They say the hardest parts about flying is the takeoff and the landing. Yeah. It's bumpy. You get up there but after a while, even when I take off on the plane, sometimes I feel a little bit like, man, I'm going in this sky, Lord. You better take care of this pilot, take care of everybody. But after you get up there, after a while, it's like
cruising altitude, yeah. Yeah,
we cruising through this thing, and that's how it should be with the Lord. Yeah. I'm cruising, bro. Not that things won't come up. Yeah. Not that you won't hit some turbulence. You see what I'm saying? Because even in the plane, you're gonna hit some turbulence. In Christ, you're gonna hit a little turbulence. You might drop from 60,000 to 40,000 feet. You know what I'm saying? Or 30,000 or 20,000, however high we go. We might drop. But if you trust in the Lord, it's going to smooth back out.
I guess the reason why I asked that, and it was a question that was posed to me by somebody. And like I say, in this office that I work in now, so many questions come that I'm not accustomed being asked to me. I'm seeing other people ask. But the children of Israel, they were crying out for a king once. And by God's track record, they should have known that
I should have known.
He is our king.
That's right.
But they cried for a king anyway. And it says, when that day comes, you will cry out for relief for the king you have chosen, but the Lord will not answer you in that day. He's going to say no. You're going to cry out for relief because Saul went to cutting the fool. Let's be honest.
He did.
And the people, hey, we need to get rid of but you chose him.
That's what you chose.
That's what you wanted. God said, I'm your king, but you know what? I'm going to give you, this time I'm going to indulge you. I'm going to give you what you want. And I'm going to let you see that what you wanted wasn't for you.
And we have an election coming up soon. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you might want to
choose wisely.
Yeah, choose wisely because that king that you asking for might not be what you want. I'm guarantee it's not going to be what you want. And you should turn your trust to the Lord. So it brings me to like what Proverbs says, and Solomon said this, a person may think their own ways are right, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. He weighs what is right in our heart, even though we think that our way is right. We think that what we are asking for, we need that. We can use that. We're going to have that, and we're going to do what we know. But He already knows your heart. He already knows far in advance what you're going to do with it, and why you're asking for it, and what's going to be the outcome. And oftentimes He would try to shield us from that. But our doubt and unbelief at times, the Lord said, you know what? You go ahead. And you through this that you're going to suffer, you're going to learn obedience. Because the scriptures say Christ learned obedience through the things that He suffered. So who are we any better than Christ? That He had to learn, we got to learn.
Through the
same process. So, well, brother, our time is running short, and we're going to have to revisit this.
Amen.
We thank you for joining us today. My name is Pastor Alan McMillan, and this is Pastor Ron Vickers. We're the Commission. Good night. God bless.